Hi, welcome to Low Carb Spin. I'm Therese.
And I'm Karen.
Today we have a beautiful fall day. Fall is in the air.
I can feel it. I'm freezing already.
Well, it also comes with the cravings on every corner. There's pumpkins, there's apples, there's caramels. So what are we going to do about that?
We have a salted caramel apple bar.
That sounds delicious. But no apples, right?
Surprise.
That's our spin. Let's get cooking. Let's begin with our crust. It's super simple.
We're going to start out with some basic almond flour. We have some Hemp Hearts. We just got these at Costco.
We like them for the nutty flavor, I think. Adds a little different texture to the crust. And you don't have to use as much almond flour, which we like to reduce.
That's always a plus for us. Some granulated monk fruit sweetener. And some brown sugar Swerve.
Yep.
I think the Swerve works better. We tried another brand of sweetener, and just go with the Swerve if you can get it in your area. Let's do a little bit of salt.
Yep, go ahead, dump it in while I mix.
Okay. And we're going to do whey protein isolate.
Stir it up, try to get it as even as possible. And then we're going to add it into the food processor as we add our butter. It's much easier to blend the butter.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to prepare our pan. We already preheated the oven to 350 degrees, so we're going to go with that. I'm just going to spray a paper towel because I don't want to...
So silicone, so it shouldn't stick, but sometimes I just,
Insurance.
Exactly.
Lightly do the bottoms and the sides.
And then we're just going to pulse in our butter that way. Oops.
You always lose some.
I do lose some.
Your recommendation is doing half the butter in, pulse a little bit, and put the rest of the butter in as well.
Give it a check. Still needs a little bit more.
Gonna push down the sides a little bit.
Keep pulsing this until it clumps together.
Okay.
This is the consistency. It looks kind of like sand, and when it's pressed together, you can tell it sticks to the wall. So we're just gonna dump it in our greased pan. And then I'm gonna take a third cup, and we're gonna use that for a reserve for the crumble top before I press it in there. So just evenly press it in, and I usually like to press it up the sides just a tad. Helps your bars stay together better. So I have it mostly pressed in now, and sometimes I take like a jar or a glass that fits the width of my pan and just give it a little press down the middle just to make it more even. And then if you do need a little extra, you can steal from your crumble if you feel like it's not spreading out the way you need it to go. So now our crust is ready to par bake for about 10 to 15 minutes. There you have it, a nice golden brown crust.
Since you're washing up some dishes, Therese, look, I am taking some beautiful pictures of our Chayote squash.
Well, they do make a beautiful tablescape. After all, they are a type of gourd. So a lot of people use those in their fall decorating.
The Chayote squash, you always have to peel them.
Outside, yep.
Outside, and you want to be very careful. They get very slippery.
Flying chayote, yes.
Flying chayote, sometimes it's best if you peel it into the sink, and that's what I've done before.
And be careful with the knife cutting too, because they're slippery.
They're slippery. This is the inside. There's a seed, just like,
an apple.
An apple or anything, whatever. Avocado, except it's a real thin seed, but you definitely want to core that out.
They're pretty big. Those seeds.
and then face them down. And then what's our thickness?
I'm just gonna say like a quarter inch cubey.
Just
Not
little,
real big, because for the
chops.
bars you don't want a giant chunk. You just want a little.
Okay. Well, if you think I'm doing this,
That looks
that's
good.
good. So what are you doing?
I'm over here having a tea break.
So what is that now?
So this is apple cinnamon tea, and we're going to use this after we steep it, and we're going to soak the chayote in it to infuse a little bit more apple and cinnamon flavor into the fruit.
Since this is our faux apples.
You've done a fine job there, chopping that chayote.
Chopped and ready. Will you do the honors? And we're
the
going to put
microwave.
these into the microwave and kind of get them a little bit, soften them up.
Fresh out of the microwave, our chayote is now softened, and we're just going to infuse the apple and the cinnamon tea, and then we're just going to set it aside. Let all those flavors in.
So I'm assuming the longer it soaks, the more apple cinnamon flavor.
So
they'll
you
have.
could do it ahead of time. You could do it the day before. I think it would, be fine.
What a great idea. Our chayote squash has been well infused now with the tea. So what we're going to do is we have some gelatin here, and I want to take some of this reserve liquid because it's really going to add a punch by blooming the gelatin in some of the liquid.
And that's going to be for our sauce when we cook our chayote down.
So I'm just going to put some in here and stir it up.
And just let that sit for a while.
And now we're going to, very carefully, I'm going to drain off the tea into a colander and hopefully not make a mess in Teresa's kitchen. There you go. Oh, thank you, helper.
Yep. That's what I'm here for. And I have just turned my pan on, and I'm going to get ready to start melting my butter for the chayote.
Okay.
So into the pan is my butter.
Put this back here and set our tea aside just in case if we need more liquid for something. I want it to have that great apple spice flavor.
Yeah.
Smells so good.
All right, so I'm going to have this on like medium-low just till my butter melts. And then we're just going to add the chayote, and we're going to start cooking that down. Got it. Just going to stir it a little bit so I get the butter coating on all the pieces. So our chayote has reduced down quite a bit. And now we're going to do like a fork test just to see, pierce it and see, a few pieces here and there. And it is sliding in pretty good. So the tenderness of the apples is a personal preference. Some people like their apples a little softer. I prefer soft. Some people like a little more bite. So this is about 15 minutes. We're going to add the sugar. Give that a little stir. We're going to add cinnamon next. Stir it all in there. Smells great. Then we're going to add our salt. And this is our gelatin that we had blooming with the tea. And we just re-microwaved it for just a couple seconds to make it pourable. And we're adding that to our filling. And last, we're going to add our arrowroot to thicken up that juice. So our sauce is all thick, looks really yummy.
It smells so good.
And we're just going to add
cinnamon.
this to our crust.
And then just spread it out. And while you're doing that, I have that reserved crumb mixture that is actually part of the crust. And what we decided to do is we're going to add some extra color to it by adding turmeric. And we'll see how much fall colors we can infuse here.
Try to get it evenly spread. So just try to get it in all the corners. If you need to even it out a little bit, you can use your spatula.
How does that look?
It looks good. It just adds a little bit more color to the topping, I think.
Okay.
We're just going to sprinkle that on. Going in with the fingers. It's a little bit easier.
Sometimes that's the best way.
Yeah. And try to spread it out as evenly as you can. All right, that's looking good.
Yum. Into the oven.
Well, here they are. They're piping hot.
Ah, they smell delicious.
So we're going to have to let them cool, and then they are going to be ready for our salted caramel.
Thank goodness these are finally cooled.
Exactly. So we're just going to cut them in half down the center. Have to be careful in my silicone pan here. There we go. And then we're going to cut it across in half again.
I guess you can cut the bars as big as you'd like.
Exactly.
So I want the bigger half.
Okay. And then we're going to cut him in half again.
I cannot wait to put our salted caramel on top.
So now we're going to go in half again, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alrighty. I will let you do the drizzling.
So we have our salted caramel here, which we pre-made. This is a recipe from Carolyn Ketchum from All Day I Dream About Food. It's fabulous.
We've used her cookbooks from the beginning when we first started out, and we really like her techniques, and some of her stuff is just great. Highly recommend.
Yeah, it's really worth the price of the book because there's so many great tips about keto flours and the way sugars react and everything. She really does a great job.
Information, yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
we have both of her books. We have the baking one and her everyday cooking one as well. And we'll have her information linked below. We also made this caramel recipe on our Scary Good recipe video, which was the Halloween video. So we'll have that. You can check that out at the end too.
There you go. It's looking good.
Mm-hmm. And you can reheat the caramel if it's getting too thick to spread.
Exactly.
In the microwave to soften it up. I don't
care.
care.
You can even add just a titch of water, and then it'll thin it out a little bit.
I don't care if it's extra thick. Too much concentrating here. Come on. Every last drip.
I'm not good at the drizzle. I'll leave that to her.
Looks pretty good.
I think it looks really nice, just like that.
Ta-da!
All right. Now for the taste testing.
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's serve you up one of these babies.
Serve me up. You better believe it.
There you go.
Mmm. Ready? I don't need to wait. There you go.
It hits the spot.
Wow.
The taste of fall in a little square.
If you enjoyed this video, then check out our other videos to like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you on the next one.